Hello everybody, thank you so much for clicking on this video. This is Chris from Cinema Trailer News, and this right here is my spoiler review for the last two episodes of Stranger Things 4, of course known as Stranger Things Season 4 Volume 2. So if you haven't watched those episodes, there will be spoilers here, just to let you know. Now I want to go this by character to keep it organized and more effectively. So let us begin with the material taking place in Russia. Now Harper, Joyce and Murray, I think this material is solid. We're getting great performance from David Harbour, Winona Ryder, and Brett Gurman. The mission to break Harper out is super suspenseful and highly engaging, and I do think it really does raise the stakes of the show overall by giving us a sense of how this whole thing can extend beyond Hawkins and really heavily impact the world. But after everything we see throughout this season 4, and after seeing the characters reunite with everyone else at the end, it's kind of hard for me not to wonder, was all of this happening over there that they were really necessary? Yes, I know that the hive mind come to play quite heavily at the end, and that climactic build is very effective. But in hindsight, I just can't help to wonder, they having these characters in a completely different country really needed to happen. Again, I do think it does raise the stakes by further showing the significant threat to the war overall. And I do think that the characters have grown a lot by being so separated from the others. But I could also make a pretty good case that growth could probably have happened with one less location to focus on this season. Now let's move on to the California crew, and there we have Mike, Will and Jonathan. Now I can say that it was not the best season for Will, Jonathan and Mike. They felt a little bit sidelined to me in the first 7 episodes, and that left me really hoping to see them play a bigger role in these last 2 episodes. I guess maybe to get their hands a little dirty in these final episodes, and that doesn't really happen. But all 3 do contribute in meaningful ways to the main mission, and I also think that performance wise, each of those actors do get a great opportunity to shine. The kitchen conversation between Noah Schnapp and Charlie Heaton was an especially big standout for me, and Finn Wolfhard does really shine when Mike is expressing how he really feels to Levin. I think that right there was well this season with the particular storyline. Now back to the California group. Let's talk about 11. Millie Bobby Brown is just so damn good in this role. Now, literally every single thing that Eleven experienced in this last two episodes has maximum emotional impact, and to make you believe in Elle's ability is hard enough all of his own, but then on top of that, she also constantly carrying around the extreme emotional way of everything that's happened to the character in her past, and also the pressure of what she's fighting for now and what it could mean for the future. And that's allowed for a character to be conveying in at once, and she does it so well. It's incredible. Now let's move on to the material taking place in Hawkins. I really like those. I think those are my favorite moments where the material is taking place in Hawkins. But let's talk about Nancy and Steve. Now, Nancy is an incredible force this season, and I cannot get enough of the determination, confidence, and energy. She's a leader. Where I'm currently rooting for Nancy and Steve to live happily ever after, and it does seem that there is a possibility at the end of the season. I did appreciate that the show isn't making it that easy for them. Now let's talk about Robin. Now, first thing here, I think Maya Hawke is just an absolutely pro addition. Adding an appropriate degree of levity to this character, to even the most tense moments in this show. It's not an easy thing to do, especially when you're working with such a battle heavy material in these last two episodes. And not only does she put it off and make those moments land, but most importantly of all, she makes them feel very natural and true to Robin, and that is vital here for the character. Now let's move on to Eddie and Dustin. Ah, poor Eddie. My heart. That was not easy. Talk about an A plus one season addition to an already stellar ensemble. Joseph Quinn's work in this season of Stranger Things might be one of the very best example ever seen of a new face joining a cast seasons into a show and just making it so he immediately feels like he belongs and earns just as much love and concern as the series regulars. He was incredible, one of my top favorite characters in this season, and he's a new character. That's how much good he was, and not only by the way that the characters was written, but also his performance. Now let's talk about Dustin. Dustin, the conversation that Gaiten Matarazzo has with Eddie's uncle was just yet another major tearjerker, a major performance highlight. And also what he expressed in that conversation is something that I think that Dustin will never stop fighting for. I do think that Dustin is going to be absorbing the lesson that he learns from Eddie, and he's going to use them to step up in a meaningful way. And Dustin has always been a character who step up and fight I think he's going to do it in a new way here. So very interesting thing. Now let's talk about Lucas. What a phenomenal work from Kelly McCarthy in this season. I know it can be of easy to look at the actors in the middle of the bigger action, heavily upside down minds, cape and set pieces, and I think that the ones are doing the really heavy lifting here, and that very much they are true, but never underestimate the importance and also what it takes up the intensity of the action suspense throughout the more reaction heavy beats of the story. And yeah, I know that Lucas does have the really vicious fight with Jason in episode 9, but McCarthy standout moment are wherever he's just standing there and reacting to what's happening to Mass, and especially is heartbroken. Let's move on to Mass. In my opinion, this is Sally Sin's season. Episode 4 is still my favorite of the season, but oh my, everything Mass went to out in this final episode just destroyed me, and it really cannot believe they took it as far as they did. What they did with the character, it does make sense. It feels well earned. It's just so hugely powerful, and will definitely be something a TV story beat that I will never forget. Again, great writing, but something like that just doesn't happen without a performance like Sadie Sins. She deserves the Oscar nomination. I really hope she gets it. Now, let's talk about Will. And I have some predictions here for Stranger Things 5. Noah Schnapp does win up getting a couple of really nice beats towards the end of the season, but I'm holding on to my sky hopes that Will step us in a very big way in the final season. Two-part predictions for you. First, he obviously has a connection to the Upside Down that the others don't, minus 11 maybe, but even then I think Will is going to be a little different, so I think he's going to find a new way to tap into that connection to fight, and they are going to prove instrumental here. But I also think he's going to wind up doing what he did for Mike in episode 9 for the entire group in season 5. Will just seems to have an especially strong sense of power that his group of friends have, and I think his understanding of that power is going to inflict in all of them for the better moving forward and help them fight by doing that. You think he's going to get a much needed dose of support back from them, and that is going to make him an even more powerful force than ever. So that's my prediction for Stranger Things 5. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, consider subscribe to the channel, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.